Hey guys, this is Josh with Projects Between Projects. Today I'm working on this case 730. It's a gasser, and I'm changing out the points and condenser on this Wico distributor. Wico? Maybe I said that right, maybe I didn't. But we'll jump right into it. Come over here, we got the distributor. I've went ahead and already cleaned up the connections on this wire. This comes from the coil. And since it's a negative ground tractor, it comes from the negative side of the coil to the distributor. And before I take this off, just for reference, just so I remember where it is, these can get spun around. It's harder than you think to put one of these on the wrong way, but for reference, this is the number one cylinder, and it's on the front side of the cap. So I'll just stick that off to the side. Come in here. I've already cleaned up the rotor. I've cleaned up the cap the best I could. It really should be replaced, but at this time it's probably not going to happen. Most of the time I just use some of this fine sandpaper to clean this stuff up real decent to make sure I'm getting a good connection. But you come in here, you can see the main reason I'm doing this is there's a bunch of corrosion in here, these points. I mean, I've sanded on them before, and it still seems like I lose spark after a while. I do have some spark, but it's just not very good or great. So I'm going to replace the coil and the points. You can see right now it is on the low lobe of the condenser. We're gonna have to change that eventually so I can get the points set. Make sure you got the key shut off. You don't want to get shocked. I mean, it'll give you a little tickle. That's about it. And then I just got this condenser. Looks a little bit different, but in the whole scheme of things, a condenser is a condenser. They're pretty generic. These Wico points, on the other hand, these are kind of specific to this distributor. They're not as common as the Delco, but they ran these on the cases and they ran them on a bunch of deers. So you can cross them if you want to. I think that looks like the right one. Because when you're looking up parts, this isn't the one that pops up right away. You're all seeing the Delcos, not the Wicos. So, mess around. I'm going to crank this over, try to find the high lobe. So I just want to move this to be on one of the edges here, so it's a high lobe, so I can just gap it right away. And I'll get you guys set up on the stand. Alright, that should give you a pretty good view of inside this distributor, as long as my hands aren't in the way too much. But as I said before, I already got these nuts off this power wire, and just got to break these screws loose. That one's not doing a whole lot. I had to go and find all the tools beforehand, so I'm not running back and forth. You know, the video would actually be 20 minutes longer if you had to deal with me finding all the tools. So that guy comes back, and that's just tucked under this bolt on the inside. And these points, it took me a little bit of cranking to find the high lobe, but I found it. You can see I'm right where I need to be. You can see more of this rust in here. It's not supposed to look like that. I broke the points loose ahead of time. Obviously, I kind of had to struggle with that one. These bands should just lift up off of here. this stud goes in this hole to the right, and then the left is your screw hole. You can see these. You can see them, but I just sanded them down and ran it for a little bit, and they're not looking too healthy already. So go ahead and find the points that were in my hand 2 seconds ago. Well, there was a part number on that bag once upon a time. Yeah, these look a lot better. And then I'm just going to go ahead and get my points out right away. There is a part number on these. I have a lot of Alice's, so I just bought a handful of these at a time because they usually cross-reference. I'm going to go ahead and get that guy open. Get the garbage set off to the side. You can see him. Hopefully it's long enough. Oh yeah, there's plenty of room there. When I put this together, I want to tuck the condenser on the bottom and put my points on top, just because that's how it was when it came apart. Set them out of the way quick. Just put my screw in there, be the easiest way to get it started. Those guys are tight. You can see these fit perfect on this screw. Just tuck that wire in and down so it's out of my way. And go ahead and grab the points. These are adjustable, they're slotted. So we're gonna have to go ahead and adjust our gap once we're all done. So I'll push my screw in, compress it. Just need both hands. Just gotta find the stud hole. It's not wanting to sit in that hole too well. But I think it's the correct size. I just moved the condenser out of the way just because. It's just being a bear to find that hole that stud goes in, so I'm gonna put my points down. Yep, there it is. Now I gotta try to line this block back up so it sits in the groove. And get all three pieces on this stud. which probably would have been easier the first time around. Got one. I think I got two, but now I need to back it off so I can slip the condenser in there. And I slipped off. Got everything lined up. Everything's lined up, everything's tight. Go ahead, I got this spacer that goes on that isolates this nut from the housing. One nut goes on to hold it. I just want to get this to sit up a little bit straighter. There, everything's connected. I just need to grab my little ratchet here and tighten this stud down. You want it to be tight, but this plastic is old and brittle. You don't want to reef on it too hard. Go ahead and put my power wire back on. Just double check. Probably turn the key off, wouldn't be a bad idea. But it didn't matter since I had the wire just hanging there anyways. Tighten up that nut. Snug it up. And now we're on a high lobe. My stud popped out again. There it is. Just want to tighten it up all the way. Almost all the way. I press it forward on that high lobe until you get a gap. Like anything, I just like to do 20 thousandths would be good. That's probably a little bit too much. You could use a feeler gauge if you really want to. I'm not gonna. And there. Points are in. Should be able to crank it over and spin it a little bit. I know you can't see it on that side, but I can see it. I got real good spark over here, so hopefully that condenser is good and holding it. We can go ahead and put this back together real quick. That guy's slotted, so it only goes on one way. Flip the cap back over, not that way. This cap, there'll be a couple of grooves that it fits in. Well, there's only one groove that it really fits in. And we'll go ahead and snap it on. And that should pretty much wrap it up. I'm gonna go ahead and try to start this thing and hopefully she'll fire right up. All right, let's see if she fires up. Everything in there should be taken care of. I just gotta turn the gas on. I'll check that once I get up there. Come to the other side. You can see I did a little bit of work to it. Not a lot. Just minimal. I'm not trying to stick a whole lot of money into this guy. If you watch the channel, I still got the Massey. That's still not together. But the channel's called Projects Between Projects for a reason. Just make sure I'm in neutral. Got the choke. I usually like to hold the clutch in when I start it, but we're gonna see. I haven't started this thing in probably, I don't know, at least 3 weeks. So, because them points were giving me issues, so we'll give her a go. Oil light comes on and see hours. See what happens. She's a little cold-blooded. Wants a little bit of that choke yet. And I might have to adjust the carb a little bit, but that's not too bad. Can't complain. She fired right up. Get off of here. Here's a bonus. You can kind of see. Let's put this choke cable on. I made this fuel line, which turned out really well. It's just 3/8. Brake line tubing, the copper coated, or the copper nickel, and I just used compression fittings on the back and off the fuel bowl, because I replaced the fuel bowl and put a screen in the tank because this tank isn't in the best shape. But that's getting off subject. That was replacing the points and condenser in this Wico model DB distributor. So that'll probably wrap it up for this one. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Hopefully we'll be making some more videos here. So thanks again.